Let's draw 3 cards for your day today, Saturday, March 28th, and I'm using Rider-Waite this afternoon. First card, 3 of Swords reversed. Another repeating card. We had this a few days ago. This is one of the most visually striking cards in the deck, and I think everybody, when they see this card come up, you have this kind of immediate visceral reaction to it. And that's because to be exposed and to have an open, permeable heart can be such a piercing feeling, and we want to protect ourselves from that. But that's the cost of awakening and awareness in this world, because once you can see what's really going on, we almost have a responsibility to stay with that and to witness that. And don't forget that 3 is a number of engagement in service of our personal growth. So when the card arrives upside down like this, it could be telling us that we're using some narrative to kind of distance ourselves from the work that we know that we need to do, or that we could be overthinking something, and that's what's causing this feeling of great intensity or even a woundedness that comes from this awakening. This is a difficult path, and I think we do ourselves a disservice, and sometimes the spiritual community does people in it a disservice by pretending that enlightenment is all just joy and bliss, and all of a sudden everything makes sense, and therefore there's no more suffering. Well, the suffering may be diminished, but that doesn't mean we stop feeling things. So this is a reminder that yes, it does hurt to have an open heart, especially at times when we know that there's suffering in the world and that it's part of our duty to witness and not look away. So let's get some more context here with the next card. Second card gives us the Empress reversed. And this is a little crazy because we also had the Empress reversed a couple of days ago as well, except both of these cards were in the other deck. So whenever cards jump decks, remember that's an important message that the practice is emphasizing. So we need to pay attention here. I have a feeling that the Empress, because in her upright position, she's dedicated to nurturing and an overabundance of feminine energy. Because she is reversed, it's not so much that there's an overgiving of that today. It feels like the giving itself has reached a point where it's a little bit painful, as we see from the first card. I think there's a suggestion here that it might be time to take a step back a little bit and do some self-care, do some tending to your emotional body, because you may be carrying some heavy weights, and not just your own, but the collective. Like we said the other day, the collective is sorting out some pretty deep shadow stuff right now. And for those of us who are sensitive, that can resonate in our nervous systems, and it can kind of get stuck there, especially if your physical body is not moving a lot. Emotional body is essentially the fascia system, and if you're not familiar with fascia, that's the kind of a membrane, almost like the skin of a chicken, not the skin, but that membrane beneath the skin on the chicken. It's kind of clear. That encapsulates all of your inner organs and all of your muscles, and it's connected from head to toe. All of it is connected. It's one organ in the body essentially, and that's where our emotional energy lives. So if we're not moving that, it can kind of get literally stuck on itself. It gets kind of clingy, and then we feel discomfort when we try to move out of our normal range of motion. So you could be a little upside down, a little stuck in place, because you're carrying the heavy energy of either your own emotional stuff that's being evoked because of what you're resonating with in the world around you, or because you're carrying more than your share. It feels to me like there's probably, like I said, not an overgiving, but maybe an over-accepting of the work. So it's witnessing is one thing. Carrying the emotional fallout of the witnessing is something else. So I would suggest that if you're feeling this today, get up, get moving, do a little stretching, do a little yoga. If you have access to somebody who does myofascial release, that can be really useful as well. But let's move on to the last card and see how we can sum it all up. Third card, 7 of Cups, and it's upright. So there's a lesson in this. That's what this card tells me. The reason that this is so intense right now is because you're becoming acquainted with the range of your inner wealth, your emotional wealth, and the gifts that that contains. So you had to feel it first, and now it's a matter of sorting through it, understanding it, making friends with it, even the parts that are a bit difficult, and then being cognizant of the gifts that they provide. So many of us, when we avoid deep emotional inner work, we end up kind of cutting off whole parts of ourselves because it's just too hard. It's too uncomfortable. We don't want to go there. We want life to stay kind of simple and, you know, not too challenging. But in that way, we can miss out on everything that's available in here. And you can see that some of these gifts are obviously something desirable. It looks like jewels and wealth, but there's also this dragon here. Can you tame the dragon? Is that going to be an agent of harm in your life if you let that power fly? Or can you transmute it and use it to set boundaries where appropriate, or to better establish and defend your own sovereignty? So there are all kinds of opportunities apparent here. In feeling all of the things that are implied by the first two cards, don't lose sight of what this really delivers you to, which is wholeness. And when we're whole, sovereign beings, we are approaching the full experience of what it means to be a human, to be a spiritual being in a human body, and that is the greatest gift of all. So to sum it all up, the repetition of the Three of Swords reversed and the Empress reversed across the decks is a massive signal. You've felt enough, you've absorbed enough, you've done your sacred witnessing. Now sort through it. Sort through the gifts and look for those. That's what's going to deliver you into a next phase of evolution. This is an invitation to stop being overwhelmed by the flood of feelings and to start being the gardener of your own inner landscape. And once you've done that, you can begin to accumulate the gifts, become whole, and then play your part in the greater unfolding of reality. So what a beautiful resolution. Let me know if this resonates with you in the comments. Like, follow, and share. See you tomorrow.